Them can't leave the town. They can barely make it here. They rely on us to deliver to them.
The state of Iowa saw 31 pharmacies close down last year due to high drug prices. And legislation at the State House looks to slow down that closure process for many family-owned businesses all across the state. Now we're back with the Iowa Pharmacy Association Executive Vice President Kate Gaynor and Randy McDonough own 9 pharmacies here in the state. You're talking about one may have to close down if this legislation doesn't pass. So I guess we'll start with you here, Randy. What would PBM reform look like, and how would it impact your business's bottom line?
PBM reform for me means that the patient gets to choose which pharmacy they get to go to. It also makes sure the pharmacist is paid a fair fee for providing those prescription services and clinical services to the patient. Without that, I can tell you that we're losing tens of thousands of dollars in certain pharmacies that we own. On our bottom line, we can't even get to the point where we can even keep the operations healthy. And with that, then you have to make some hard decisions. And we don't want to close pharmacies. We converted one of our pharmacies at the beginning of the year to a telepharmacy. It's a hybrid. So 2 days a week we have a pharmacist. Other 3 days it's run by one of our technicians. And then we do remote services from our corporate center. That's the only way we think we can survive in some of these towns, is that if we can't do a telepharmacy or do some other type of new type of a way of providing the service, then we have to close it down. But we can't even guarantee with the telepharmacy, because we just got our financials, we're still losing, even with that hybrid model. This is just, to me, basic, it's common sense, is that if you don't get paid enough to provide the services, then you close the doors. And that's what you're seeing. And my concern is, by not passing this PBM reform, it's just pharmacies are just probably on the cusp right now, waiting to see what happens with this.
So quite literally, if this bill doesn't pass, there's a week left here in the scheduled session for lawmakers, then you're looking at closing one of your 9.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, wow. I guess we'll shift to Kate here too. There's a couple proposals in each chamber. Mentioned there's a week left here in session. Just outline, I guess, some of the regulations that would be placed on pharmacy benefit managers and how it would help pharmacies across the state.
Yeah, a few things. I described the bill. It would help pharmacies, it would help patients, and it would increase the regulatory authority by the Iowa Insurance Division or state agency. So first, helping patients, like Randy said. Today, PBMs often put restrictions on which patient a pharmacy can use. Maybe it's not the one where they have an established relationship with the pharmacist. Maybe it's not the one closest to their house. It might actually be that they're forced to use a pharmacy that's owned by the PBM. So it would help patients in giving them the choice to choose where they access their prescription medications and pharmacy services. It would help pharmacies by establishing a reasonable reimbursement for every prescription. IPA surveyed our members, and there are pharmacies across the state on average report that 40% of the prescriptions they dispense, they lose money on. This bill would set an average rate for every prescription that's dispensed that covers the cost to keep their doors open, that would keep access for patients to choose pharmacies in their communities. Opponents to the bill say that that set rate for every prescription would increase the cost of their insurance or their insurance premiums. But we've seen these same provisions pass in other states: West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, most recently Arkansas, Indiana. The states that have had this in place have shown that there is not an increase to healthcare premiums by passing PBM reform.
Sounds like a tough business model too, to be able to even get into it the way stuff is set up, and this bill would just add a little more predictability to the prices so people can run a competent business here. What do you say to opponents? You kind of got into it there. Randy, what do you say to opponents of this bill that say it would raise drug prices for Iowans? We've heard maybe some insurance companies talk about that at some subcommittee meetings early on in session, and then it would also maybe limit access for mail order pharmaceutical delivery.
Yeah. What I say is, look at the data. I'm a data guy, and I say look at the data, look at the states that have actually implemented this. It didn't increase costs, it didn't increase premiums. In fact, in those states that actually have passed these type of rules and laws have seen a decrease in premiums overall for these individuals, for patients. So this is not going to increase costs to the patients. This is about really, where's the money flowing? And where's the money flowing to? Is it flowing to big business? Is it flowing to through the PBM, or is it coming back to the pharmacy, to the community, so that services can be provided? That's what I would say. Otherwise, we're going to be in danger of losing more pharmacies. There's just no doubt in my mind. We predicted this, many years ago, that if we don't have some real change, we're going to see more closures. There's no doubt in my mind that we're going to see pharmacies close even more than we've seen already.
Yeah, we'll see if rubber meets the road this week.
It is.
With the last week of the session scheduled, could go into overtime, so we'll just see what all happens there. But Randy and Kate, thanks for joining us this morning. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
All right, hey, we'll be right back with more local news after the break.